Hi, welcome back. It's time to go to camp. Did that rhyme? I swear I didn't want it to rhyme. Okay, hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the second vlog in a series for the Camp TBRathon that is hosted by Leandra from Leandra the TBR0 over on her Patreon. If you don't know her, I'm gonna link her channel down below. Go check her out, she's amazing. I don't think I mentioned in my first vlog, but the reason that I'm part of her Patreon is just because she gives me so much joy. I think I only recently found her channel. I think it was in maybe December. Recently, half a year ago. But since then, she just has given me so much joy. I always find her videos so calming. Her reading sprints are always so much fun, very lighthearted, and I don't know, I get so much out of it that I always want to help the creators and become part of their community. So I recently joined her Patreon and now I can take part not in one readathon but two, because she is doing a bingo during the whole month of July and I'm basically doing the readathon from last year this year. Now this is week 2. If you've seen vlog 1, you know I'm packed, I'm ready to go. I may not have packed all the things that I wanted to pack, but I packed a decent amount and I'm glad. My backpack is full and I'm ready to go to camp and have all the activities and all the great experiences that we get from camp. Not really a camp girly, not really a woodsy staying out in a tent kind of girly, but for Leandra and for you guys, I'm gonna do it. Not in a literal sense, but in a bookish sense. Leandra has all the graphics, all the prompts. Go check out her Patreon if you want to do this on your own. And there's so much more than what you see with me, because I only tell you about the prompts that I'm doing. There are so many more prompts that I could be doing that I choose not to do. And it's even more now in week 2, because I noticed every week we get more and more choices. Week 1, we could choose what we wanted to pack, but every object that we wanted to pack had one prompt, one challenge that we could do. Now in week 2, we always have a choice between two things when we go to an excursion. There are always 2 ways to take part. And in week 3, I can tell you now, kind of like a little sneak peek, week 3 has a choose your own adventure theme. And so we have a multitude of choices and ways to go. And so everyone will get a different outcome. It is gonna be bloody, it's gonna be thrilling, it's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait for week 3. But for now, we have a very chill, very beautiful week ahead of us. And if you're watching this in the future, I'm gonna link not only vlog 1, but also vlog 3 in the description bar. Go check out the whole series. And if you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and check out the first thing that I want to do. By the way, I chose the wrong week to go to camp because let me tell you, this is the best thing that I packed for camp. I think it's gonna be raining non-stop this whole week, so we'll see how I'm gonna do, but we don't care. Rain is fun, rain is the perfect reading weather, so let's go ahead and pack this. At the end of vlog 1, I told you about a book that I started for one of the prompts from week 1, but I'm gonna carry it over into this week for a prompt for one of the excursions, and that is Atmosphere, a Love Story by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of the most beautiful covers of the year, I think. So I feel like it works perfectly for the first excursion where we go on a hike in order to get the perfect view of our surroundings. And of course it is kind of a long trek and we got to choose between 2 ways of going about it. We could go on Yelp and try to figure out where the best spot is going to be, or we could go and ask a local hiker and go with their recommendation. I'm sorry, I always go and Google everything before I go anywhere, so I went with the Yelp recommendation. Sorry, local hiker. And for that we have to read a book with a gorgeous dramatic cover, and I feel like that fits the bill. So this is the first excursion that I want to go on. Let's go on a hike, let's get that beautiful view. Hopefully the sun will be out, hopefully there will not be rain clouds. That's not what we want for this week. I said before that I wasn't gonna go camping or into the woods, that all the excursions are gonna be inside of books, and that's true, but I also wanted to take this opportunity to go out, do things, and really enjoy summer, go to places that I haven't seen before. I've lived here for over 10 years now and there are still some things that I always see and always want to do and I never do them, and so I decided to go ahead and try to fit as many of them in this vlog and the next, and just see if I can actually recreate the challenges and the activities that Leandra chose for us. So with this first one, like I said, we are going on a hike, and I live in the northern parts of Germany. There are no real mountains to climb, and so the view is always up for interpretation. But we do have a small kind of hill that you can climb where I live, and I've seen these steps to the entrance of it so many times because I drive by them all the time, and now I finally did it, and I just stopped and went on a little hike, and it was so much bigger and so much more beautiful than I thought it would be. So I'm so happy that I actually got the opportunity to do this, especially since the weather was nice that day, and I'm definitely gonna come back with maybe like a picnic or with my sister and just enjoy the view again. During week 1, I got to page 68 and I can't wait to get back into this one. I'm also listening to the audiobook for this one. It is done very well. Julia Whelan is part of it and she can do no wrong in my eyes. She is one of my favorite narrators, and whatever she does, I will listen to. No questions asked. I don't even need to want to read the book. If she does it, I want to listen to it. But luckily with this one, I really have high hopes. I loved books by Taylor Jenkins Reid before. It has been a while since I read anything by her though, so I am intrigued to figure out more of this plot, where we are in the year 1984. When we see a space shuttle in the atmosphere and something goes wrong. And then we go 7 years into the past when everyone who's involved started at NASA. They're astronauts in training, and the main character, I forgot her name already, Joan. Joan is one of the few women who's in the program, and we kind of see everything they have to go through in order to become an astronaut and go into space. And so it's interesting because the first thing that we learn is there's something gonna go wrong. People are gonna get hurt. And then we go back in time and learn all about it and fall in love with them, and it's like, no. I'm so intrigued, but I also know people sob at the end of this, so I'm hoping. And I'm hoping that I will sob, because that would mean it would be an amazing read. A high prediction that it will be, because it's Taylor Jenkins Reid. So anyway, let's go back into this book, and I will update you guys once I continue and I'm a decent amount into the book. I almost forgot, before I start reading, let's pick another prompt from our little jar. These are the prompts that I got for my bingo board. Every Monday and every Friday we get new prompts from the bingo board, and I always put all the prompts that work for my bingo board and put them in this jar. And then, even though I already know that I could get a bingo, I don't at the moment, because I still have to do the things, and it only counts if I had pulled the prompt beforehand. So, and these are very like laid back activity based ones, like how much time you need to read or not read, or like move around or dance or something. And I pulled these out before I did all of those, so they go in here. I do think that I have 3 of the 5 bingos. The 4th would be the middle free space. So I only need one of the ends in order to get my bingo. So fingers crossed, I think it's in here. So it is in here. I know it's in there. So, so let's go ahead and figure out what I'm gonna do next. Let's pick 3. Let's pick 3. Okay, this is the next one. Let's see if today is the day that you guys actually get to see. Yes. There you go. G60. No reading for 60 minutes. No! Ah! Okay, what this means is, and it's funny because we had like a draw of the bingo numbers, and for like a whole round, all of them were non-reading prompts. So it felt like, I think they called it a comfortathon instead of a readathon, because it was just being mindful and doing things for you and having like me time and everything. So this will work in that favor. So I need to figure out what I want to do for 60 minutes that does not include reading. I could edit because I have some editing to do. It's not really mindful though. So I think I'll watch maybe a series tonight, or maybe, ooh, I have some coloring books that I wanted to keep doing. So maybe I'll do that for an hour. We'll see, we'll see. So I will tell you guys, I will show you guys later what I will do for these 60 minutes. So far, I really had hoped for a reading prompt though. So let's go ahead, let's pick another one. There you go. Another non-reading prompt. Oh, this week's is off to a great start. B10, treat yourself. I mean, I could treat myself to some reading time, but I don't think that's what it means. So treat yourself could mean I could get some yummy food, some great drink. I could go out and buy a book or do anything else that I normally wouldn't do. So I'll have to think about it, but sometime this week I will do this and I will show you guys. My sister is coming to visit me and my other sister over the weekend, so we will definitely do something that I will count as treating myself. So we'll see, but probably before then I will do something else. Now, get me some reading time. Let's go with this one. I know! They want us to treat ourselves. It's another treat yourself, and I swear it's another one because this is the one that I pulled and this is the second one. G58, treat yourself. I feel like it is an apology for the shitty weather that we have right now. So I feel like they're like, yeah, you need to treat yourself, just be good to yourself. So I'm gonna keep pulling until I get some reading time, dude. I really need to read, so let's go with this one. I mean, I still have a decent amount in here and we're gonna get new ones at the end of the week, so I want that bingo. Okay, this one doesn't want you to see it. G59, no reading for 60 minutes. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What? No, I want to read. I have so much reading to do. I want to do so many excursions, and for every excursion, for every event, I have to read something. What's happening? I'm gonna go for another one. I have to figure out what I want to do for all the things, for all the time that I'm not supposed to be reading. I feel like this is also kind of like the game and the bingo judging me for reading too much. They're like, have a life. Go do something else. Okay, let's go with this one. Other way around. What? N45. Watch Booktube for 20 minutes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prompts that have nothing to do with reading. Guys, I need to read these books. Like, what the hell? Okay, bingo gods. One more. Let's get a 6th one. I have 4 more prompts in here. At least one of them is reading. So let's go with this one. If it's not a reading prompt, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, then it's gonna be a sign that I shouldn't be reading tonight, but I want to read, so. No. What? No. B9, move your body. I mean, I will have fun with it, but it's not reading. I swear there are reading prompts in here. I mean, except for the one where it says no reading for 60 minutes, it doesn't say that I can't read. I would have liked to read and have that go towards like a goal of reading, but I guess it's not meant to be. Can't believe that happened. Did I get a bingo in this one? No, I don't think I have an N in here. N45, maybe, ooh, maybe that is my bingo. Let me check. Yes, yes. So which one is that? Okay. After I watched 20 minutes of BookTube, which shouldn't be too hard, I have so many videos on my watch later list. After that, I will have a bingo. Yay! First of many, hopefully. But yeah, perfect. I can do that. Still mad. I feel like the bingo gods are like, she doesn't have a life. Let's give her a life. But joke's on them. I'm still gonna read.
You're almost to pie. Rosie? Do you want to stop? Or... Ow.
Ooh, I've got so much updating to do. It's a couple of days later. I haven't been feeling too well, so I've been kind of taking a bit of time for myself and trying to feel better. I should have known that giving me 2 do not read for 60 minutes would result in me not doing anything for the rest of the night. I thought I would just watch. Okay, there are people on scaffolding and I'm hoping that they don't see inside here. Anyway, I thought I would watch like 1 or 2 episodes of my shows and then I would go back to reading, but that did not happen. Check mark to these 2. Perfect, did that. I ended up watching a couple of episodes of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I've never watched it before and now I'm kind of binging through it. I am on season 2, episode 5 maybe, so no spoilers. I finally relented and just watched it. I love Jenny Han's work before, but with this one, always because there is like this love triangle with her and the brothers, that's just not something that I enjoy and I still don't. Okay, small rant right now. I think there is only one brother that she should be with, if she should be with any of the brothers anyway. But there's like one who's the grouch all the time, who's ruining every shot, who's making it cringe. There's one brother who doesn't really appreciate her, who only likes her when it's convenient for him or if she's like interested in someone else, and is always like pushing her back only because he wants to go through it alone and everything, and doesn't really give her anything while they're in a relationship. And I feel like that is all like red flags all around, especially if you think about that he is going to college and she's still 16 at the time. And you have the brother who actually knows her, who appreciates her, who makes her laugh. All the positive things of the one brother you only see in flashbacks, like when they were younger, but when they were getting older and what we see on screen at the moment, one brother is so much better for her. And I get that like teenagers, they don't know what they need or what they want, but it's dumb for us in this day and age to put these 2 brothers up there and be like, you really want to have them as endgame, when really, no, you should not want that. Since I'm late to the game, I don't really know who everyone is preferring for her to be in a relationship with. So yeah, it is kind of annoying me and I'm kind of over it now in season 2, to be honest. But good thing that I kind of stopped there. I did not go back to reading. Who are we kidding? I went ahead and started watching the newest episodes of Building a Band, and they released the last 4, I think, 4 episodes, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I just continued. I binged through them the whole night and I am obsessed right now. So I'm not gonna spoil anything on which band won, but I will tell you that this performance is living rent-free in my mind right now. Love that band, love their voices. Like if they went on tour right now, I would buy a ticket. They would be ready, they would give us a great show. I'm obsessed now. I'm listening to the rendition of Bad Guy on repeat, as well as another song that they did. Really happy with the no reading for 60 minutes. So happy to put a check mark behind those. And I could also say that I did watch 20 minutes of BookTube. I watched way more than that, of course. So yeah, did that as well. I'm not really sure if I treated myself really over the last couple of days just because I wasn't feeling well. So I think that's what I'm gonna do this weekend. It's Saturday, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I do have a lot of like freelance things that I need to do as well this weekend, but my sister is not coming this weekend. So I do have a bit of more time to myself. So I need to continue reading, treating myself. I think one of the treat yourselves is going to be to go to a cafe that I haven't been to in a long time and just enjoy it, because the weather is okay today, and I'm gonna read something while I'm out. Speaking of reading, let's talk about the books that I'm reading. I'm still reading Atmosphere. I am now, I think, around 40% into it. I'm on page 140. I am quite a way through and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know why people always say that they sob at the ending, because I've already cried. I mean, there is some like hard things happening in here because you switch between these two timelines. I'm enjoying it. I always find it difficult to stay or stick with a book that is like literary fiction, because it's just not my vibe. I like it. I love her writing style. I love the characters. I love how well developed they are, even though, like I said, 140 pages isn't a lot to be in if you have so much going on, but you still have a very clear picture of these characters, especially Joan. She is an astronomer. When she hears that NASA is putting together a new astronaut training program for men and women to go up into space in these new shuttles that they're doing, she gets into the second round of people who get to be trained, and so we follow her when she becomes this astronaut trainee, and we follow her through her training and meeting these people that will later become her crew and her friends and maybe more. And of course we have a little bit of a love story. The tagline does say that, but we also have her and her family, because she and her sister aren't really close, but Joan has taken on the responsibility for her sister because her sister got pregnant and isn't really the best mom, but Joan kind of steps up and helps out, and her sister is very reliant on her to help and is not very grateful. She like at one moment she's like, I'm doing this all on my own and no one's helping me, and Joan just takes it and she doesn't really reply and says like, I am helping you a lot, like what are you talking about? Okay, so that relationship is toxic, but the relationship with her niece is just precious. The niece is so cute, and so we have family there like as a way to show that Joan is really there to help everyone and she always puts herself last. And I feel like with this space program, it's the first time that she puts herself first and is thinking about what she wants out of life, and I really enjoy that. And then of course we have the switch to 1984 when we have a crew on the space shuttle in space and something goes wrong, and we follow what happens then and who makes it and who doesn't, and it's heartbreaking. So I want to continue with this one soon. And then I decided to start The Last Tiger by Julia and Brad Reeve. They're siblings and they wrote a fantastical version of their grandparents' love story, which I just think is so cute. At the moment of filming this, it is going to be released next week, so I really wanted to get to it before then. So far, I don't know, I'm kind of lost a bit. I'm not far into it at all. I'm like 3% into it, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to talk about it later, of course. This was inspired by the Japanese occupation of Korea and what that did to the country and the people. The Reeve siblings kind of took that and put it in a fantasy setting, but that's kind of where they lost me, because I'm not sure if the setting is supposed to be the same time period as that occupation time would have been. Like, is it more modern fantasy setting, or is it just the idea of this occupation in that setting? We have the tiger and the dragon people. The tigers are the Korean because it's a Korean symbol as well, and so it is kind of hard to like establish where we are. It's only 3%. I'm probably gonna get it like in a second, but that's kind of where I was like stumbling. The story is kind of Romeo and Juliet kind of situation. He's very poor, she's from a higher class family, and they're not supposed to be together, but they fall in love and they persevere through this hard time. And it's also about the actual last tigers that are being hunted, also a parallel to the time when the Japanese were hunting the Korean tigers. So I do love the retelling aspect of this, basically, of this way of incorporating the history in this. I've been obsessed with the idea of this ever since I heard about it on Instagram, and I've been following them and their journey, and I really want to love this, so I'm going back in. The writing style so far has been okay-ish. The funny thing is, I'm reading another book for another video that has a similar premise with tigers that are being hunted and everything, but it's more of like a Chinese retelling of a story. So I'm kind of comparing them, and I like the writing style of one more than the other, so it's difficult. But I do want to continue with this one, hopefully this weekend, after feeling better now. I need to get some breakfast, and then later, like I said, I will go out to a cafe at some point. Before I go out, let's pull another prompt. There are at this moment 3 in here, but Leandra told us that we would get 10 more prompts today, so hopefully some of them will be on my board as well. So let's go ahead and try to get a reading prompt, because I don't know if any of the prompts that I will get during this next round will be reading prompts, because we always spin the wheel, so they could all be non-reading prompts, and that is just not good for me. So let's go with this one. Yes. I-22, read for 30 minutes. That's good. I need this. This is a long weekend. Let's see. I'm gonna leave 1 prompt in here. See, there's 1 more prompt. Let's go with this one. Yes. Another read for 30 minutes. I-30. That's good. So I have an hour of reading time, and I will definitely need that today. And I will update you guys with what I read during that time. Prompts, and this time around there really were new ones. Like, this is a new one for me, the first one. Yeah, I got some reading time, yay. Another treat yourself, and then we have a make or update your to-do list, which none of us had before. So yay, 4 more prompts to do. Let's get to reading. For the second excursion that I wanted to do, I had to do what I promised I wouldn't do. I had to go into the wild, into the woods. And while I was in there, I saw something. I spotted some deer, and they might have spotted us. And I had to make a choice: stay and observe, or leave them be. And the prompts for those were, if I were to stay and observe, would be to read a book with 2 animals on the cover, or an animal character in the story. Or if I were to leave them be, I would have to read a book about the environment. Could have been a non-fiction or climate eco-fiction. And as you've seen before, I did decide to go with the first route, and I decided to stay and read The Last Tiger. I did not expect to actually see real animals while I was out there, and I did actually manage to capture this amazing shot. I was very quiet, and I let them in the end be. I did not expect to see the next animal that crossed my path. Okay, just kidding. Of course, I did not see a tiger near me in my woods. I actually did go to the zoo. This was something that I've been planning for quite some time, and I just never took the time to go and enjoy. But now, very spur of the moment, I did go there and I saw amazing animals. It was the perfect day to go there. I took my time. I spent some time with the animals, and I actually did get to pet some of them and just be near them, and it was very, very majestic at times. Guys, I might be DNFing one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Yeah. I mean, I haven't decided yet for sure, but I might be done with The Last Tiger. I really wanted to love this ever since I saw it marketed on Instagram, ever since I saw the authors talk about why they wanted to write this book. I was so into it, and then I saw the cover and I was like, I'm so into this, I want it, I need it. And now I had the ARC and I also have the physical copy, and I'm not really vibing with it. I still love the premise that they took their grandparents' love story in Japanese occupied Korea and put it into a fantastical world and plot. I just don't think the execution is there for me to really enjoy it. I'm 48 pages in, and I couldn't even tell you what time period we are in, because some of this feels like very much typical, like Middle Ages, but then I feel like if this is just a depiction of the Korean Japanese time period, then it would be way later. And I couldn't even tell, like, from the setting or the world building, but I've seen other reviewers say that at some point we just randomly get some electricity dropped in here, and then you have sometimes chosen words that are just weird. I highlighted it in my ebook. Let me quickly pull it up. Buddy, relax, dude, and it's relax with 3 A's. Dude, really? I don't know. And then also just, I'm not really feeling the characters at the moment. Their interaction is kind of like stilted. Also, the way that they took Korea and Japan and made it into tigers and dragons kind of simplifies it, and then it's like there's a dragon dude, there's a dragon thing, there's a tiger thing, so it sounds kind of silly once you make it into just this generic animal type. I'm not vibing with it, and so far it's not really gripping me. It begins with the two characters making a deal because she's very rich. She is basically in a guild prison and wants to just take a second and leave her home to go to this execution of an actual tiger, which is kind of sad and based on reality of the time. And he's there. He is actually working as a servant in her home. He is very poor. His family is very like on the brink of extinction basically. He sees her and she's afraid that he will tell her parents. So they make a deal that she will help him pass the exam in order to learn magic. And then we kind of see them as they go about learning. And it's such a weird way of showing these moments together because apparently he's still cleaning while also learning. And then there's like nobody around, even though it's like imperative that nobody sees them together, but they can just spend a whole day together without nobody being any wiser. And you have him just having to learn all these things that she has learned over years, and he's supposed to learn them overnight. Not only just learning them, but like knowing every phrase of every book. And it's just a bit like too simplified. Even I think this is supposed to be YA, but it's still too simple the way that they put it. There are hints here and there about the occupation that is happening here, and the way that in this book the Tiger Nation and their people are manipulated and brought to their knees, and the horrible things that are happening to them and their culture and everything. There are these hints and they're horrible, especially if you think about that it's not just a fantasy book, but it is based on reality and what happened back then. But then the fantasy plot as it stands on its own is just not up to par. So I don't know. I was thinking of just giving it a bit more time, but then I just had my reading sprints for my read-along that I'm doing, and that is for the Dark Shores series by Danielle L. Jensen. This is one of my favorite YA fantasy, and there are just leagues in between these two. Because of the DNF, I all of a sudden had a bit more time on my hands, so I decided to go for Botany 101 for beginners. And you could choose between the skill level that you bring to the table. You can A, look forward to learning this new skill, read a book by a new to you author, or you could be teaching the class, read a book by an author you've read from before. And to be honest, I myself would probably be the beginner and I would need to learn the skills. I do not have a green thumb. Everything dies. So I actually did just look at the pretty flowers and I did not take any because they would not have fared well with me. So yeah, I did go for the teaching of the class, but that is just a fantasy and we're just gonna go with it. Just now on sprints I read 93 pages, and the way that just with a couple of chapters I'm in it. I love I know this world, I know these characters, I have this bias because I know that I love this, but at the same time there's always this worry that when you go back into a book and you reread it and it's just maybe not as good as it has been the other times that you've read it. And I think this is maybe my third reread of this, but it's just as good, and I am chuckling, and I'm even like annotating, and I'm so glad I'm back, and all these characters just jump out of the page, and their interaction, and not just with the main characters but with the side characters as well. There are already some that I love and some that I'm like, I hate them, and just like the world building in this is so intense. I could tell you so much about just these first few chapters that I've read, about the world and how it works. And again, we have this empire who has taken over this whole continent and once more, and has set their sights on another continent. So you kind of have this occupation of other places in both of these, and the way that other nations and their people are mistreated. And even though this isn't based on one nation's, like real nation's history, I feel more connected to what is happening in here than I am into this. So this just was a very big demonstration today of how much more I am enjoying this and want to go back into this and not this. So I'm really sad because, like I said, this was one of my most anticipated books. When I got the ARC for this, I was so happy, but now I'm kind of sad that I have to give this kind of feedback to them. Which is funny because on my sprints we were just talking about DNFing books that we aren't really feeling. I'm not even 50 pages in, and I'm so sorry to say it. But yeah. So I was hoping to read this for the prompt, to read a book that has two animals on the cover, because we do have the dragon and the tiger. And there are animals in this one as well. Like I said, the tigers are basically hunted down and killed during this occupation. So I had hoped to finish that prompt, but I do have to update you guys on another book that I actually finished. And our final excursion went to the waterfalls. Gorgeous. And yes, that one was at the zoo. But I had to choose between A, the weather is perfect for a long gorge hike, take your time on the trek, read a 400+ page book, or B, aren't we expecting rain this afternoon? Better book it, read a novella. And let's be honest, with the weather that we had, I definitely went with B. But I'm not gonna go into too much detail with this because it is a German book. It's called Heimat by Hannah Lühmann. I ended up giving it 3 stars. This is just a little novella, which is why I chose it for this prompt, to read a short book, because yes, it was raining and it was a good idea to just read something short and just to stay near a campground because it has been pouring the whole week. And that is when I read this book. I thought I would rate it a bit higher, but I just couldn't vibe with not really with the ending, but with the character and their decisions. This is pretty much about tradwives and how we see more and more of them in Germany, and the very much horrible pull to the right politically of the whole nation, and what the political landscape looks like and what it means for people who live in smaller towns, where a lot of the traditions are being brought back into everyday life. And we have a main character who just moved there from the big city with her family. She's pregnant again, so she kind of had to stop working, and she kind of has to deal with that if she wants that or not. And then she just gets sucked into the orbit of another young mother who has a very strict way of thinking about traditional values and the way that she wants to live her life. And I thought it was very well done to see the different sides and how you may not see in the beginning where people are standing politically, but you see it in small things that people do and say, and then sometimes you just have to take a step back and are like, really? That's how you feel? Okay. And especially nowadays, it's more important than ever to see what is happening in the world and act accordingly. So I do think it is an important book. I do think that the length of it was best for this kind of story, but I would have liked for it to stay on the political side and to like stay with one character and how it affects her life, when most of this book was basically her obsessing over this other woman and this other woman's life. it kind of got weird in the end. And I do understand where this book is supposed to go after it stops, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping for a different focus of the message, if that makes sense. I don't want to spoil anything because it is very short. So I do think it was mostly well done, but at the same time I was hoping for it to go in a different direction. So maybe it's a me thing, maybe it's not a book thing, but yeah, I did finish it. I did read it. It took me longer than it should for a novella, but I did it. So I was very happy to go and look at the waterfalls. Even though that means where I live, the camping experience to go to see waterfalls was very limited, to say the least. So I think I will end it here. I did not think that today would be the day that I would do this outro, but here we go. Because I do think that starting tomorrow, it's Tuesday now, I did this for I think 1.5 or 2 weeks now, this vlog, and even though I am back in a reading mood, the last few weeks were just filled with work, and the next few days are as well. So I do want to kind of wrap this up to go into the last week, the choose your own adventure type vlog tomorrow, and starting with new books, because for now I am DNFing this, and so I am gonna take this one into the next week and continue with it and see if I can work this into one of the prompts for the last week, because I don't know, because we are going to choose as we go along. And I can tell you, as beautiful as these last few days have been weather-wise, I mean, the sun has come out, it's supposed to get warm again, so as a camper I was happy, and I was thinking nothing can go wrong now. Now is the time to be in camp and have a good time and just enjoy camping. I mean, it's always the sunniest day that throw the longest shadow, right? So next week is going to be interesting, and I will see you guys there with new books, new prompts, and a murder to solve. And until the next time, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!